Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from lovetocreate.typepad.com. I'm coming to you from Conover, North Carolina, and I'm happy to have you with me today. Before we get started making this cute little fun fold, I'm going to tell you about a class that I have. This is a class using the Springtime Joy stamp set. And this is a class to go. If you are interested in this, then the class is $15. You would get a PDF on directions, and you would get links on that for a video for each of the cards. When you get the packets, all of these little pieces are cut out from the dies and ready for you to color and assemble. The class is $15 plus shipping, and please let me know if you're interested. Shipping, I think, is going to be $1.40. So let me go ahead and get started with the happy birthday card. Let me pull in our stamp sets. We're using the Hey Chick stamp set, and we had that one a couple years back in Celebration, but they've brought it back and they have added a set of dies. Hey, Faith and Tina, thank you so much for coming back. This one has a cute little corn stalk and corn that we're going to use on our card today. And then there's also another one to go with this called Hey Birthday Chick with those same cute little chickens. And this has a set of dies called Birthday Chick. So we're going to be using materials from both of these die sets and both of the stamp sets on our thing. Hi, Debbie. So this is a fun fold. It's called a W fold, or you could maybe call it an M fold, I suppose. And I'm going to show you how to do this fold. It's really, really very, very easy. So I have my parts here, and I have done a little bit of this ahead of time. Wasn't sure how long all of this would take. So this card, oops, dropped a piece of corn. I'll have to get that in a few minutes. This card starts with Bumblebee cardstock, and this is 4 1/4 by 11. It's scored at 5 1/2, and this is really just 1/2 of the piece of cardstock. You're just cutting it. It's usually 8 1/2 wide. You're just cutting it in half at 4 1/4. I'm going to burnish my fold with my bone folder. And then I have 3 pieces of designer series paper. That's a lot of paper to use for one card, but I thought for this occasion it would maybe be worth it. This is from the Fine Art Floral designer series paper. And this is probably what you would call the back. If you remember back when we had the 45s, we had the A side and the B side. Maybe this is the B side, because on the other side is this beautiful paper that I'm going to cover up and use the other. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of these on my card. Probably that's something I could have done a couple of those ahead of time, but this is fine. So I'm going to put one on the front. And these pieces are all 4 by 5 1/4. Oops. That's why I like to use glue. You can kind of move it around a little bit. Thank you for sharing this. I appreciate it, Tina and Faith. I love that. I could really use the exposure. And that reminds me, Tina, you are the winner of the cards that we did that were the pop-up cards. And I haven't put them in the mail for you yet, but I will. I need to go buy some more of those envelopes to put those in, those little brown envelopes. And I did not pick a winner for the card last week. We just had the one card. No, last week was the pop-up. It was the week before, Tina. I can't remember what we did. Hi, Terry. How are you? Good to see you here with us. So all of those were 4 by 5 1/4. And I've got those inside the card. Now, we have a strip of Bumblebee. It matches the card. And this is 11 by 1 3/4. Oh, I see it's messing up again. I'm just going to go ahead. Maybe it will clear up in a little bit. I apologize for the weirdness of the video. So we are going to score this. I'm going to bring in my cutter. And we're going to score this into 4 equal parts. So it's 11 inches. So we've got one at 5 1/2. That's half of 11. And then we have 2 3/4. And I'm just going to turn this around and do another 2 3/4. But I think if you're doing it all the way across, it would be 8 1/4. There, it cleared up. Maybe we'll be all right. So you've got your 4 score lines. And when you burnish this with your bone folder, you want to make sure that everything is straight. You don't want to skew or whatever. You want to make them straight. So I'm going to fold this in half, and then I'm going to fold it again. And then I'm going to fold this one up. And you just want to make sure that everything is, oops, as I'm not making sure it's straight, that everything is straight on that. So we are going to put some tear-in tape. Let's see where I have that. I'm hoping this is going to be one of those weeks that I have everything I'm supposed to have. And I'm going to put that on this end. And I know I could tear it. I don't like to. And then I'm going to put some on this end. And then while I'm putting it, I'm going to turn it to the other side. And we're going to have panels that fit on each of these. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the tear-in tape down. I'm not so sure you would have to have tear-in tape for this. Probably if you have that Seal Plus, that would be good enough. You might try just gluing these pieces, but I think maybe for the ends you do need something stronger. But while I have this out, it's easy enough to use it. Okay, so you can see I didn't have to be too careful about all of that. All right, I think that we will go ahead and decorate the front of the card. I don't think it matters so much, but I'm going to put this aside for a moment. And I went ahead and stamped all of the pieces. And then a while ago, while I was waiting for this to start, I decided, well, maybe I needed to go ahead and color some of this, that you might not want to watch me color things that were pretty close to the same. So I have these pieces. I'm going to use this one on the front with a little cupcake. And then I'm going to use this one on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and color these two. These others I've already cut out and colored. So let me start on this, and I'm just going to start with the balloon. This is real red. Actually, I've got the dark, and I'd rather have the lighter color to start with. And I'm just going to color right inside those lines. Now, I think I've probably said before, coloring with the blends may not be my strong point. I just kind of do what I want to do, and that's that. So I did a little bit of dark there on the side, and I'm just going to take this red and just kind of pull out some of that darkness. And I'm going to use this lighter red. I'm going to use a small end for the little top knot here. And then I'm going to pull in some orange. It's hard for me to color in the lines sometimes with, even though I'm using the bullet tip of that, when there's small spaces, I'm a little challenged. Okay. And I'm kind of looking at this one. So I'm going to take my light Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to color over the entire hen with that, except I think I'm going to try to not color this little top part of his head. I could probably do better if I didn't always color in a hurry. But I don't want to make you all just sit. Sorry about that red that I got out of the area. And then I'm going to bring in the dark Mango Melody, and I'm just going to color some spaces. Do a little bit of his little wing there, a little bit of the tummy, a little bit under the head, and just wherever I feel like it, to tell you the truth. And then I'm going to come back in with my light Daffodil and just kind of around the edges of that, I'm just going to try to blend it in some. I don't want it all to end up being the same color. So there's that chicken. And I'll color this other chicken to look about the same. So I'm going to do the little top part. I don't know what that's called. This was called the wattle, I thought, back when I taught school. We called that the wattle for the turkey at Thanksgiving, so maybe. Okay. Oh, let's see. No, this one doesn't really have feet to color. It has feet, but not to color. Okay. Now, wrong one. Here's the one I want. But that'll be all right. So I've got my light Daffodil Delight. I'll have a little top knot a little bit darker. Okay, and then I'll bring in the darker Mango Melody, and I'm going to open my card and see how I did that before. So kind of like I just did on the other one. That's why I didn't want to make you watch me color all of them. Okay. And then we'll bring back the light Daffodil Delight. Kind of try to blend that in a little bit better. Okay, I think she looks just fine. So, I'm going to leave this here where you can look and see what I've done on the inside. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get the dies and cut that out. I'll just place them here while I'm sitting with you. And I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to hold that in place. See, I'll put it there. And then I'm going to need to get a little bit more washi tape. I'm going to get just a little bit, and I'm going to kind of put my hands on it and get a little bit of that sticky so it's not quite as sticky. And let me see if I can find this, the die that goes with this one. That's not it, I don't think. It must be her. I think that's it. All right, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. And I just shook the table. Okay, we're back. So let me take that carefully off. We're going to need those words. And I'll just put those back. I usually just take my washi tape and put it on the side of my my cut and emboss machine. That way I use it a couple of times. Oh, it's messing up again. I don't know what to do about that. I'm so sorry. I hope you saw enough of it that you can know what's going on. So, I've got our two little pieces here, and I'm going to glue those on. Yay, it cleared up a little. So I mainly used just the light red and a little bit of the dark red to color, and then the light Daffodil Delight and the darker Mango Melody. And I did color this cupcake with Pool Party. So those were mainly the colors that I used in that. So I stamped the happy birthday, and I'm going to bring in my little small trimmer and trim that. Let's see. And I'm going to bring in a little bit of contraband, which is my old hexagon punch. And I'm sorry, I just got so used to using that to make the little flags that that's what I like to use. Do you have favorites? And then I'm going to just put that right in there. And I'm not adding any dimensionals on these. You would think that usually I would, but I'm not, because this card has a lot of layers on the inside, and just not so sure as far as mailing, we probably just don't want to add too much extra. So this is the gingham bumblebee ribbon, and things are going to be retiring soon, and I have a lot of that on a roll, and I thought I would use it for this. At first, I was going to use the linen thread because I am a lover of linen thread, but then I thought, you need to use the prettier stuff if you can. So there's the front of the card. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this paper. And we're ready to work on the interesting part on the inside. So I'm going to take these two end pieces off. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to get those off. There we go. And I'm going to attach one of them about midway on this card. And what I usually do is kind of lay it with these lines on my grid paper and try to find the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to put that in between those. And I'm going to put this right on the edge of the card, right in there. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is take it the way I have folded it, and I'm going to bring this side of the card over and just lay it on that. Okay? So then when I open it, we have the piece. Isn't that easy? So all we have left to do is to decorate the card. So let me get my little pieces. And I've already colored 3 of these, but I left one to do with you. So for that, I'm going to bring in some ink and some of the blending brushes. I'm going to start with the grass, and I'm doing that in Pear Pizzazz. So I'm just going to get some green on my blending brush. I'm going to get a little bit of the extra off so that it's smooth, and then I'm just going to go back and forth on here until I get it as dark as I want it. So I'm going to try to get it a little bit darker. That's good. Now this is the Stampin' Up blending brush, and these are really, really nice. If you don't have any, you might want to invest in some of these and try them out. Now, blending brushes have been around for a while, so I had bought some before Stampin' Up came out with theirs, and I'm going to pull in another one and this is not Stampin' Up, I apologize. This is the one I'm using for blues, and this is Balmy Blue. And the blending brushes are really good to put on color, and it's smoother than maybe you can get with the daubers, or for me it is. Okay, so that's going to get that one, I think, pretty well. I'm just going to do a little bit more where the two come together. All right, and we have all of those done. I didn't think you needed to watch me do all of those. So we have 4 rectangles. The rectangles that are in Bumblebee are 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. And I will have the post on Saturday, and it has all the measurements on there. The panels that go inside, I have just 1/8 of an inch smaller, so they're 2 1/8 by 2 5/8. I've just gotten to where I love that thinner border, so that's kind of what I do all the time. So let's start. I'll just start here, and we're going to put on a cornstalk. Now Stampin' Up! Has a fine tip glue pen, but the fine tip glue pen and I are not very good friends, so I'm not going to use it. And what I'm going to pull in, a little bit of scrap paper here, is Stampin' Up's retired two-way glue pen, and you can't get these anymore. This is my last one, and I'm sure going to miss it when they're gone. So I'm just going to put some glue on the stalk, and we are going to put it right in here. And it's okay if it goes over the top a little bit. Get that down better. And then we're going to add, come on glue, then we're going to add this chick. And I'm going to add it with glue. Let me see if I can get a little bit down in there. I don't want to over glue because I don't want it to come out. Okay, so we'll put the chick here, and then we're going to add some corn. And I put one of the corn. Let me just get all 3 of these corns here. And I told you I think I dropped one on the floor a while ago. I'll have to look for that. And I'm going to, they do have a little pointy end, which is what I think would go up. And I have to tell you, I'm not a farmer. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to the bottom of each of these. And this is something I should have done ahead of time, because you're going to have to watch me do this a lot. And then we're going to put these little leaves at the bottom. So I don't know if any of you know the correct terminology for all of that. I know there's the ear of corn, and I know there's the stalk, and I know there are husks. I don't know if this part is supposed to be the husk. I know you husk corn and you take off those dead leaves, so maybe these are the husk before they turn brownish. But I'm going to put, one of these down here. It might have to eat some of that. And then I'm going to put 2 up here near the top. Okay, so this is one of our panels. I'll glue this. There went my. I'll glue this to one of the Bumblebee pieces. There we go. And then this will just go on the card. Excuse me, I dropped my Take Your Pick tool. Got the dropsies. Okay, so we'll take that off, and we'll just put this kind of from side to side, trying to make it about the same between here and here. And we're just going to add that. So you can see it's not going to be that hard to do this. So with the next one, we have a fence. And now for the corn, I used garden green, and the ears of corn are bumblebee. I'm having a hard time remembering that. The fence here is cut out of early espresso. So I'm going to put that on. I can pick it up. And it's going to go just over to the side here. And then we're going to put this hen on there. And this hen is going to cover up a good deal of the fence. So he's going to be over in here. And then he also has some corn. Okay, let me turn all of those over, and you'll get to see me make corn again. So, thank you, Faith. I appreciate that. I had fun coming up with this design. Of course, I did not come up with this fold originally. It's been around. Okay, so there's our corn. I kind of found that the best way for me was just to put it on glue dots. Otherwise, I was ending up with glue everywhere. So this corn is all going to be on the ground. This hen has a good dinner coming up. Although the farmer, I don't know, the farmer dropped it there, so I guess it's fair game, isn't it? All right, so we're ready to glue this one on its background. Okay, looks like maybe it's staying a little bit clearer. Okay, so we'll add this one to the card. And when I put this on, I want to put it kind of in between these folds, and I want to look at the height here and get it about the same. So I think that'll be all right. And we have almost the inside done. Okay, for the next one, let me pull in my background, and we are going to use this hen. We're going to put a fence back here. Now, you might have noticed when we did this one that the fence, well, I can lay it here, it goes all the way across, but I don't like that look right there. I want it to be smooth. So I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to cut my fence in half. So I'm going to put some on one side and some on the other, but the hen is going to cover up where the two do not meet, since I cut that piece out. Okay, so we'll put this one on. I guess I could use my take your pick tool to pick that up, couldn't I? So there's that part of the fence. And then let me try that. Yes. And then this fence is going to go on this side up to the side of the paper. And then I can add my hen and no one will be the wiser. Except maybe you. Okay, now this hen is holding a balloon. Did you see that? Well, the balloon actually comes from the hen that's on the front holding this balloon. So I just stamped part of the balloon and I cut it out with the dies, just this little part. But I'm going to trim this a little bit better right in here. And we're going to give this hen a balloon. So what I used, I pulled in this twine, and this is the twine that goes with the dog and cat paper, or the bundle of the dog and cat. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I just cut off, well, I'll just do it with you. I cut off just a small piece and I pulled it apart and got just the black. Now there are 3 strands of black and I really just want the one. So I could make more cards with this if I wanted to. And I'm going to take let me lay this down a second. I'm going to get a glue dot. And I'm going to put that glue dot at the end here. And then I'm going to place that underneath, I wanted to say his hand, but underneath his wing, I'm going to place the end of this. I don't want it to show, but I want it to look like it's coming, like he's holding it. Okay? And then we can probably cut that a little bit shorter. We're going to take another glue dot. Actually, I'm going to take a couple of glue dots to glue down this, and then we're going to put one glue dot right where let's see, we want to make those strings meet. So we want this to look like, okay, I'm going to put the glue dot there. And then we're going to put this balloon, it can stick out a little bit, like the threads match, okay? Now I don't want any of my glue dots to stick out, even though this does. And that's how we did the balloon, okay? So we'll glue this one on our background. Okay. And again, you want to make sure, don't put any glue up here on the balloon, because that would keep your card from opening. And we will attach this piece. And again, you want to get it in between the 2 folds, and you want the tops to be about the same. It's a little bit harder with that balloon there, but we're going to put it there. You want to make sure that balloon doesn't stick out over the top of the card. And then we're ready for the last check. Now let me show you this check. I did not color it the same as what I did for today's card. And that is, I just didn't like, I used some of the crumb cake in there. I didn't like it as much. I thought, well, he just doesn't look the same. So this one's just going to become the same as the other. Well, let me open it up so I'll know how to fix it. So this one also has a cornstalk. So let me get that. It's in garden green. And we will use this old glue on here. Okay, I think I bent it a little bit, but that's okay. And we're going to add the cornstalk here. Okay, I think that'll work. And then we will add our hen. Here he is, or she. Here she is. I do know enough to know that hens are girls. Okay, and we're going to put her here looking back at that corn, thinking, I'd like some of that. And, okay, I don't, there it is. Okay, I had dropped some of these green leaves. Oh my gosh, sorry. I hit it with my head. Okay, trying to look. Okay, maybe that wasn't too terrible. Let me fix it back a little bit better. Oh, Faith, I think her granddaughter would like that. Okay. Did you see the, Faith, did you see the card that I had this past week that had the wobble, the chicken on with the wobble? That said that it would move. Yes, I'm okay. I'm a hard head. Okay, and let me find my glue dots again. Need to make it interesting. Okay, and we'll add our corn on here. And I've got that where a little bit of that yellow is showing. You probably don't, oops, making it worse. Probably don't want that. And we'll put another one. Okay, so we're ready to glue that on. Faith, I have a link to the wobbles on my blog post, but it came from Amazon. Okay, so we're ready to add this last little bit. And we'll have it. Oh, no, we don't. We've got some words to add. So let me put that on. And then, I don't know, I just felt like it needed some words on the inside. So I stamped the Let's Celebrate You. And we're just going to cut around that and add it. So I'm just going to cut it in small pieces. Oops. Might be getting too close. I don't know what it is, but I like words that are just cut out just a little bit like this. Okay, there's the let's. And we'll do celebrate. And it really doesn't matter how you cut these. They look good. However, or I think they do. Okay. And then we need the U. And I did just about cut that too close. But I still think it'll be fine. And again, just to keep it from being quite so messy, I'm going to use glue dots to adhere this. So I'm just going to lay it right on there. We'll do lips. They are just called wobbles. I think you can do a search and you'll find them, because that's what I did. Now you can make them yourself, but I just didn't want to do that. Now Tina made a card the other day using those wobbles too, and the Butterfly Brilliance, and that was really pretty. So there you go. Let's celebrate you. Here's the card. Now you want to make sure that your glue is dry, or else you're going to glue it all together when you close it. But here it is, and I think it's a really cute card. Okay. Now I made another card using this fold. It will be on my blog next week, and it's using the baby pull toys. I'm starting to think about babies. So look for that. It's using the same fold, but with those pull toys. Okay, I'd appreciate it if you would share my video. If you would please remember me if you need to order supplies. I would love to help you. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Let me know how I can help you. If you need catalogs, I have them. Just let me know. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful week and go stamp something. Thanks. Bye-bye.